is MPS Radio. It is 5:30, time for the news. Russian Federation forces continue their attack into Eastern Europe as NATO troops fight a series of...
Rabbit 6, this is Saber 6, in battle position Charlie. Request sit rep, over.
Saber 6, this is Dragonfly, moving into battle position Echo. Saber 6, Rabbit 6, contact, company plus enemy force, moving to phase line Bravo.
Rabbit 6, this is Saber 6, maintain contact, continue move to phase line.
This is Rabbit 2, they got the LT, we need some help out here. Saber, this is Dragonfly, taking 12 plus targets, request permission to fire.
Negative, Dragonfly, hold fire and stand by. Saber, this is Tiger. In position, over. All Saber elements, fire at will.
Mayday, we're hit. Bandit, poke them, 1 o'clock.
Saber 6-1, take him out.
I've got tow. Fox 1.
The cyclic controls the helicopter's pitch and roll using the joystick. Pushing it forward pitches the nose of the helicopter down, causing you to gain forward speed. Pulling the stick back pitches the nose of the helicopter up, causing you to lose forward speed, and then begin to fly backwards. Unlike a jet, this does not make you climb or dive. Pushing the stick left or right will roll the helicopter in that direction. At low speed, the helicopter skids sideways. At higher speed, it makes a banking turn like an aircraft. The collective changes the lifting force of the rotor using a throttle, or the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard. Moving it up increases rotor lift, causing you to climb. Moving it down decreases lift, causing you to descend. To maintain your current altitude, set the collective at the halfway mark. The tail rotor is controlled using rudder pedals, the twist function of a joystick, or the left and right arrow keys on the keyboard. The tail rotor controls cause the nose of the helicopter to swing left or right. Used by themselves at low speed, they cause the helicopter to spin without changing the direction of flight. If used with the cyclic, they allow you to turn faster than normal at speeds over 30 knots. The IHADS provides useful information for flying and navigating your helicopter. The heading scale is a moving compass with a marker showing the helicopter's true facing. The chevron below the scale shows the direction of your current navigation waypoint. To fly towards this waypoint, turn in the direction of the chevron until it lines up with the facing marker. The distance to the waypoint is shown at the lower left. The airspeed indicator shows your true airspeed in knots, while the radar altitude shows your altitude in 1-foot increments. The rate of climb indicator displays any change in height. When centered, you are at a steady altitude. If it is above the center, you are climbing. If below the center, you are descending. Once your mission starts, select which cockpit you will fly from using either the F1 key for the pilot's cockpit or the F4 key to fly from behind the helicopter. You will receive instructions from your instructor during the flight. Once you have completed the given task and are ready for the next instruction, press the Shift-C key. To repeat the last command, press the Shift-D key.
All right, pilot, you are now in control of the helicopter. You should be stationary on the runway. If not, pull lightly back on the stick and slowly lower your collective until you have landed. Once you have completed the given task and are ready to move on, press the Shift-C key for further instructions. To repeat an instruction, press the Shift-D key. You should now climb to a hover. Move the collective up slowly until you rise off the ground. At 100 feet, return the collective to the neutral position. When your hover is stable, proceed to the next command. Now I want you to rotate in a hover. Move your rudder slightly to the right. If using the keyboard, press the right arrow once. Your helicopter begins spinning to the right. To stop this rotation, return the joystick to center or press the opposite arrow key. Now, rotate in the opposite direction. Once you are facing north, bring your aircraft to a stop. Several kilometers in front of you is a waypoint marker. Now, you're ready to begin flying. Return to a hover at about 100 feet. Begin pushing forward lightly on the joystick to pitch down the helicopter. You'll begin to move forward. The further you pitch down, the more your speed increases. Try not to push all the way, as this can cause you to lose altitude. When your speed reaches 50 to 100 knots, return the stick to its center position. You are in level flight. At higher speed, you may need to keep the stick pushed slightly forward to maintain speed. To slow down, pull the stick back toward you. Watch your speed. Once you have stopped, release the stick or you will begin to fly backwards. Practice level flight for a few moments. Return to level flight at about 75 knots. Then push the stick left slightly. Your helicopter rolls into a banking left turn. As you turn, observe the change in your digital heading readout at the top of the screen. Return the stick to center. You'll roll back to the right and level out and resume level flight. Practice turning in both directions until you are comfortable. When flying, the easiest way to climb or descend is to raise or lower the collective. When you reach the new altitude, input an equal and opposite amount of collective for just a second, and then set the collective in a neutral position. Remember, it's easy to overcorrect and put in too much collective. This results in you chasing the needle. After each change in the collective, wait a second or two for the aircraft to stabilize. Practice flying around until you are comfortable. You can also practice using the altitude hold autopilot. Press the A key to engage altitude hold. You can change the altitude setting using the minus or equals keys. Press the A key again to disengage the system. Your next objective is to find your way home to base. First, you need to make waypoint number 2, your current waypoint. Press the tab key to activate the communications menu. Select flight number 1, then waypoint number, then waypoint 2. Next, select orders, and then make current. Finally, use the tab key to back out of the communications menu. Turn the helo until the open chevron below the compass strip in your HUD is under your flight path. This will lead you back to base. Descend until you're in level flight at 50 to 100 feet altitude. It's easier to learn to land if you come in slow and low. As you approach the base, reduce your speed to 50 knots by pulling back slightly on the stick, and use your collective to maintain your altitude around 50 feet. Your goal is to land on the runway closest to the hangars. Just before you cross the outside edge of the base, begin slowing down to a hover by pulling up on the stick. Remember, it's easy to pitch up too far and end up going backwards. By the time you accomplish all this and are hovering at about 50 feet altitude, you should be near the center of the runway. Use the stick carefully to move your helicopter toward your landing spot. Come back to a hover and lower the collective down slowly to begin your final descent. At about 10 to 20 feet altitude, you may need another tap to continue descending to a touchdown. Now you should feel comfortable flying the aircraft. If you would like more experience, take some time to fly around the base. When you are ready, press Shift Q to exit the game.